Hi, everyone. Welcome. I see a lot of you are coming in. Please share in the chat box where you're all joining us from. It's always so nice to see the audiences from all over the world. You are attending Planoly Presents Pinspirational Holidays. So this season, we're honoring the happiest place on the internet. Pinterest is an essential part of holiday marketing mix, and a lot of people don't know that. It's also the industry's best kept secret. So mark your calendars today. You came. So our workshop will be today for the power of Pinterest. We have an amazing speaker, and I'll be introducing her in a bit. And she's from Pinterest, so we're really excited to have her here. Just some quick housekeeping. Just the chat box is for all of you to communicate, to chat during the workshop. Please share your handles on our Facebook group. Our team will be sharing that. And just be kind. So this is a safe space, so please keep comments kind. We want you all to learn so much today. And then I did want to show some things that we do have here at Planoly. So we have a pin planner. So Sarah is helping me in the background. So we have an amazing tool that helps you plan your Pinterest, and a lot of people don't know. It's easy way to manage your Pinterest content, and you can do it on web, you can do it on the phone, and we are an official Pinterest partner. So please check that out if you've never checked out Pinterest planning before. Planoly makes it super easy. And just wanted to share some of our plans that we do have. All of them do include Pin Planner. So if you just want to try out Planoly for the first time, our free account, you are able to link one Instagram and one Pinterest account. So that's really great. And then it just goes up from there with a lot of amazing tools. So just wanted to make sure you all knew that we do have that feature, and that's why we partnered with Pinterest today to show you the power of Pinterest. So I am going to show my screen. So thank you, Sarah, so much for helping with that. And I will share my screen now. And I'm Marlene Ramirez. So I'm the partnerships manager here at Planoly. And I have the honor of also introducing today Lucy. So Lucy Matthews is the global partnerships manager at Pinterest. And we've been working with her for a couple of years now. And she's super amazing. And I'm really excited for her to show you what the power of Pinterest. And I'm going to turn off my camera and let Lucy introduce herself a little bit more. But thank you so much, Lucy, for being here with us today.
Wow, thank you so much for that warm welcome, Marlene. Hi, everyone. As Marlene said, my name is Lucy, and I am thrilled to be speaking with you today. So this presentation is going to share tips for creating great content on Pinterest, how to build an audience, and ultimately how to find success on the platform. So I'm going to start from the beginning today, and we'll be providing an overview of Pinterest, who we are today, and some best practices. And then at the end, I'll be walking through how our users leverage Pinterest to get inspiration for the holidays. So firstly, why Pinterest? So you have tons of channels to create and publish on. So why should Pinterest be one of your top platforms? And that is such a valid question. It takes time to create for multiple platforms. So why even include Pinterest? Well, Pinterest is not like other platforms. We are different. We are grounded in our mission to bring everyone the inspiration to create a life they love. And people come to Pinterest to be inspired, but they also come with intent and a positive mindset, and they are ready to act. And that's what really sets us apart from everyone else, is the mindset of the users coming to the platform. They're not scrolling through content strictly as a form of entertainment, although we are pretty entertaining. They are engaging and saving ideas that have inspired them to take action. And each month, over 454 million people worldwide come to Pinterest to find that inspiration. And to date, we have seen over 3 billion pins being saved and 6 billion boards created. All because Pinterest users aren't just passively scrolling through their feed, they truly intend to act on the content they have discovered. And in fact, 77% of weekly pinners have discovered a new brand or product on Pinterest. So before I dive into more details around how Pinterest works, I wanted to take a quick pause to run a poll and to ask you all, is Pinterest currently part of your current social media marketing strategy? So that poll should be coming up now. So either answer yes or no when you see that poll pop up. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to share some stats with you to make you reconsider Pinterest if it's not currently in your current content strategy. So did you know that 83% of weekly pinners have made a purchase based on the content they saw from brands on Pinterest? And that Pinterest is higher up that search funnel, with 97% of top searches on Pinterest being non-branded. So that just shows a huge opportunity there to get discovered. So I actually can't see the poll, so I don't know, Marlene, whether you can let me know what the poll ended up at, or we can come back to it at the end. But I am personally curious just to see what the answer is here.
So it looks like the poll might have just showed up. It just showed up for me, and it looks like people are saying no poll showed up for them. But what I could see in the chat box was that most of you did say yes.
Wonderful. Well, that is great. Awesome. Okay, so we can close that out. And thank you for all participating in the chat if the poll wasn't working. All righty, so we can move on to the next slide. So now I'm going to talk about how Pinterest actually works. And I mentioned that Pinterest is different from other platforms. And I really want to walk through how and why this matters for your business, your content, and your audience. So at our core, Pinterest is a visual discovery engine. Content is not shown chronologically, but rather it surfaces when it's relevant, based on the individual's user's intent, engagement, and previous searches. And this leads to a highly personalized experience. And it also means that content is evergreen. It lasts forever and will continue to perform for you over time when people are searching for it when they need it the most. And the more your content is engaged with, the more it appears across Pinterest for others to discover too. And we make sure that your content is surfaced at the right moment to the right user. So I'm now really excited to talk to you all about our newest native format, Idea Pins. So you may or may not have heard about Idea Pins, but Idea Pins are a multi-page pins featuring video and images, and they are perfect for all types of content: food, fashion, DIY, travel, any tips and tricks, and more. And publishing Idea Pins regularly will really help you build your native audience on Pinterest. And Idea Pins are a great tool to teach and inspire others on a topic that you are passionate about. So share your passion and expertise through Idea Pins. And this format offers dynamic features to easily create, edit, and engage content on Pinterest. And we've included editing tools such as video editing and exporting drafts that will help you produce high quality content. And we're really excited to introduce new tools such as Ghost Mode, which allows you to layer transparent videos on top of each other and trim so you can really achieve that magical effect of something transforming right before your very eyes, as you can see in the demo here. We also have new features like people tagging, so you can mention people, music, and voiceover recording to enhance your idea pins and make them more dynamic. We also have some helpful publishing tools, like the ability to add in an ingredients list to really help the end user act upon your content. So I just went over idea pins. It's important to note that you can't quite schedule idea pins directly from Planoly just yet, but idea pins are an important tool to reach your audience to ensure, so make sure to include them in your Pinterest strategy. So now I'm going to talk about where those pins will show up on Pinterest, which are called our Pinterest surfaces. So I'm going to start, you can go back one slide, Marlene, thank you. So I'm going to start with your profile page. So your profile page is your home base on Pinterest. Now, this is where your followers engage with your content and where new people can discover you. It's actually the first thing people see when they come to your profile is your original content. And as you can see from the screenshot there, you can now see the difference between the content you have created versus the content you have saved, making it easier for your followers to see your original content. And while we're talking about your profile, it's important to make sure you have a business account. So you can either create a brand new business account or you can convert your existing personal account into a business account. And the reason for doing this is it unlocks important features such as performance metrics and access to new tools. And while you're updating your profile, make sure to claim your accounts, like your website. This will ensure you get the attribution for all of your great content on Pinterest. You can claim the content that you post, as well as the content of yours that others pin from the internet. And that just makes sure that your profile picture will appear next to any pin that comes from your claimed accounts. Okay, I'm going to go back to Pinterest surfaces here. So a person's home feed is personalized just for them, and it's based on what they have saved, searched for, and more. And this is where they can discover content from creators and brands they follow or are yet to follow. We then have the idea pin following stream, which you should see being demoed here. And this is a new way for people to discover your content right at the top of their home feed. And because people come with intent, they often search for ideas and inspiration, which is the perfect opportunity for your content to surface, along with your potential audience to discover your content and then follow you. And then we have the related surface. This is a really cool surface that brings another opportunity for your content to get discovered. If a pinner is engaging with a pin, they can scroll down to see similar ideas and visuals, essentially more riffs on that idea. So to summarize, we have a variety of surfaces where your content can appear, which can ultimately help you grow your audience. I know there was a lot there, but this is a perfect opportunity for your content to be discovered by the right audience. Okay, so now I want to touch on some best practices for our newest format, idea pins. So overall, great content on Pinterest inspires people to act. And to do that, your content should be helpful, original, and personal, and it should be yours. So make sure that you're only posting content you have full ownership of. People love that they can find all elements of an idea right within the idea pin itself without having to leave the app. Your audience wants to view details like ingredients or instructions, or swipe through to different pages to dive deeper. And our newest tools make it easier for you to publish directly from within the app, using video recording, editing, stickers, special effects, and filters. And we know that video content is highly engaging and immersive for our users. So it's recommended to use video to capture your audience, especially in the cover page, so it can stand out in the home feed and other distribution surfaces. We also know from research that people appreciate and respond well to authenticity. So don't hesitate to add a personal touch to your idea pin content. Showing your face and personality is totally welcomed here. And remember, the more your audience engages with your content, the more it will be seen by others looking for idea pins just like yours. And again, idea pins are really meant to feel more authentic and straight from your phone. That said, make sure to do a quick quality check before you publish. Are the edges of the screen covered? How's the lighting? Do the videos and images in your idea pin fit together style-wise? Just make sure that all bases are covered before you publish. And then finally, just because you can't link out of an idea pin, it doesn't mean you can't call people to action. Idea pins are great for growing an audience and getting people to engage with your content, like encouraging others directly in their idea pins to comment, visit their profile, or try out their content. So to summarize all of that detail there, you really want to make sure that you have a cohesive, authentic idea that speaks to your audience and inspires them to act. And always make sure to do that quick quality check before you publish. Okay, just a few more pointers here before we move into the holidays. So I've spoken about how to create content. Now, how do you build an engaged audience? So there are several ways that you can do this. Firstly, create fresh content. So creating fresh pins often helps to engage your current audience and creates more opportunities to build an even greater audience by allowing more people to discover you. Then adding text overlay to your pins will ensure your content is easily discoverable and that your audience knows what they're getting. It's kind of like SEO, but on Pinterest. And because people come seeking content to act on, comments are a great way to engage with your audience and to see how they're bringing your ideas to life. It really goes beyond that double tap. And people can now directly react to your content in real time. It's useful to see what your audience is loving and where you can optimize. And then tagging a variety of specific topics related to your pin idea will ensure that your idea reaches those who are searching for it. So make sure you're tagging relevant topics to your pin before you publish it. And we also have this really cool self-serve tool called Pinterest Trends. So this is for any business or creator who's planning a Pinterest first strategy. You can explore the top trending terms on Pinterest. So if you go to pinterest.trends.com, you can type in a term like skinny jeans and see how people have searched for that over time. And that data can inform your content you create and ensure that you're consistently on trends. And then another tip for growing your audience is creating and organizing your boards. So boards are where you save your pins after you've created them. Board names, descriptions, and categories all impact how your content shows up in Pinterest search results. So make sure you use clear, descriptive language in your board titles and descriptions. So we have a variety of tips and tools for you to really reach new people and grow your audience. So make sure you have a look through this list and ensure you're leveraging all of them to really build your loyal following. So if you've spent time building a strategy to grow your audience, you've created that great content, but how do you know whether that content has been successful or not? Here are a few key performance metrics to be aware of. So first we have pin stats. So pin stats lets you see how each of your individual pins are performing at that pin level. So you can leverage these insights to create even more high performing pins and learn what pins are getting clicked into, saved, and saved to certain boards, which will help you understand how your audience is using and engaging with your content. We've also introduced new stats like profile visits and follows, which allow you to see how each idea pin is driving engagement and audience growth. And then we have Pinterest analytics. These advanced analytics are your window into how people engage in with all of your content. So you can see what pins people are gravitating towards and learn more about what your audience is looking for. All you need to access these advanced analytics is a Pinterest business account, which is free. So another reason to convert your personal accounts. These are the key metrics to pay attention to when you're looking through your analytics. These really give you that overview of how your audience is growing and engaging with your content. So that's the end of the Pinterest overview and best practice. I'm now going to switch gears a little bit, style-wise and topic-wise, and give a quick overview of how to market your business for the holidays. So I can't believe we're at the end of summer now and we have to start thinking about the holidays. I feel like it comes up quicker every year, always surprising. So how do people use Pinterest to plan, research, and get inspiration for their holiday shopping and party planning? So what we have found is our users love a good celebration and they love the holidays. They plan earlier than anyone, and Pinterest is where they start to plan, even starting the searches on Pinterest months before they do on other platforms. Historically, our users started to plan for the holidays as early as September, so this workshop is very timely. But last year, in the midst of the pandemic, they started to plan earlier than ever. As you can see from this graph, the trend line for the holiday searches on Pinterest started to pick up as early as July. In the face of COVID and stay-at-home orders, they were looking forward to the holidays more than ever. And when it comes down to it, as much as our users love experiencing the holidays, planning from them actually might be their favorite part. And this is really something that's unique about our audience. In fact, our users are 1.6x more likely to start planning events and celebrations. They're more likely to say that planning events and celebrations is their favorite thing about the holidays. They love figuring out how to crack the perfect gifts for their family, think about how they're going to make their homes holiday ready, or finding the ugliest holiday sweater possible to wear to their holiday party. For our users, planning ahead is more than half the fun. And Pinterest is their go-to platform for holiday planning. And we know that they're really looking forward to planning this holiday season, especially with the optimism and excitement we're hearing about from our US users as we start to turn the corner on the pandemic. 8 in 10 have told us that they want to make it bigger and better than ever, and they're actually already using Pinterest to make that happen. They've told us they don't want to wait to celebrate. They've told us they can't wait to celebrate in real life this year with family and friends, that they're planning to spend more on food, drink, gifts, and travel. And they're planning to get more festive this year by dressing up, decorating, and hosting more. So think more lights, more parties, and bigger gifts. And we know you'll hear a lot of predictions that Americans eager to return to normalcy post-pandemic will start shopping earlier and more enthusiastically this year. But on Pinterest, this early message is rooted in actual data and consumer behavior. And this slide has the proof. More shopping is completed early on Pinterest before Cyber Monday than average across all other e-commerce sites. In short, if you act early anywhere, do it on Pinterest. And as our users plan for a bigger, better holiday in 2021, they're looking for ideas from businesses like yours. So on Pinterest, you can actually be their next big holiday idea. Okay, so you'll be pleased to know you're almost done listening to my voice, but I'm going to leave you with a few things. So firstly, while this presentation was exhaustive, it is by no means everything. So here are some resources you can use as a point of reference. As you can see here, we have our creators page for our creator audience to go and see and engage with other creators through the business community. We also have the Pinterest Academy, where you can learn more and take sort of bite-sized courses on Pinterest. And then we also have our business site, which has a ton of information. But what I've linked here is to more information on planning for the holidays this year. And then, of course, be sure to follow us on Pinterest and on Instagram too. And then finally, if you're going to take anything away from this presentation, let it be this. Your audience is here and they're waiting for you. Leverage idea pins to drive engagement and build your brand, and take advantage of all the resources and analytics that we offer to find success on Pinterest. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Lucy. And let me stop sharing. We do have some time for Q&A. And Lucy, this was such a great workshop. I think holiday planning is exciting, and especially for businesses, it's such a great time to start to do it ahead. And so we will be opening it up for the Q&A. Give me a moment, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm trying to maneuvering two screens here, so it gets a little chaotic, but let me go into the Q&A. So we have a question. One of the questions that we have, Lucy, is, even though Pinterest is more imagery focused, are there best practices for what to include in my title and caption?
Yes, and you're right, Pinterest is definitely a visual platform, but we're also a search platform too. So just to make sure that your title and description just includes information about what your pin is about. So when people are searching for that content, it will be surfaced for them. So if you have an image of you wearing a summer dress, make sure summer dress is in the title. So pretty straightforward in that respect, but just make sure it's the title relates to the pin and the description is a short, succinct description of what your pin is about.
Okay, that's such great feedback. We have another question. Should I be using hashtags on Pinterest?
Another really good question. So you can use hashtags, but what we would actually recommend above that is topic tagging. So especially in idea pins, just tag once you go through the idea pin creation flow, make sure you're picking out topics that relate to your idea pin, and that will give it a better opportunity to be surfaced to the users at the right time.
Okay, so make sure to use tags. I know we had Trisha was asking to in the chat box, so definitely a popular question. We have another question. I don't have a ton of time for content creation. Is it okay if I reuse content from other platforms?
Yes, and I definitely hear you that. And I do feel for all creators out there, I feel like there's so many platforms and you have to create individual content for each platform. So you can definitely reuse content, but just make sure it's specific to Pinterest. Obviously, everything on Pinterest should be inspirational and actionable. So content that you have for Instagram might not be relevant for Pinterest, but you can definitely riff upon that idea. And just make sure you follow all of the best practices that I walked through today to make sure it's relevant for our audience.
I agree. I think that you make such a big point. When you're planning for Pinterest, realize like what you like to consume. So when we go to Pinterest, it's very different of when we go to Instagram. So making sure that you're creative and everything you're you're adding on there really represents that and what you as a person, as a consumer, would like to also see when you go on that platform.
Exactly. And I think that's the key differentiator of Pinterest is the mindset of the user coming to the platform. So you might go to Instagram to see what your friends are doing and see what celebrities are doing. You come to Pinterest when you're searching for something or you want to be inspired, you're looking for a recipe, you're looking for outfit inspo. So just make sure you're plugging into that pinner mindset when you're creating content for Pinterest.
Exactly. I know I looked for outfit inspo for today. We are in Austin and it's very hot, but you know, it's holiday themed. So I had to dress the part, and always love going on Pinterest and searching also all the fall drinks. We have a question. We are a little bit at time, but I'm going to try to go to 2 more questions because we did have a lot of questions come in. So thank you, everyone. One of the questions is from Sarah. There was a lot of interest about idea pins. So how long do idea pins last?
In terms of idea pins last on Pinterest, yes. Idea pins last forever. So I think obviously idea pins, people think of them as Instagram stories, and they're similar in this the part that it's, you know, multifaceted, there's different pages, but on Pinterest they last forever. So for example, I created my own idea pin. I love martinis. I have a fantastic dirty martini recipe, and that idea pin I created 3 months ago. Every day I'm getting new engagement on it, and it's my most engaged idea pin that I've created. So that's the wonderful thing about idea pins. They last forever and they're there for when your users are looking for content like that. So although, you know, creating content, it does take time, but on Pinterest, you're playing the long game. You can create that idea pin and it's going to last forever for people to engage with when the time is relevant for them.
I know that's the wonderful thing about Pinterest. It is very much the long game. So it's very much a great strategy to have for your brand, because that content will live there forever and it might get searched and clicked and saved multiple times throughout the year. So definitely it's everlasting, and it's not, you've worked so hard to create this video and then it's done in one day. It definitely will live on forever. We had a question about, let's see, sorry, we have such good questions. I will end it with this one since we are talking about strategy. What do you think is the first step of starting my Pinterest strategy? Or what do you think the first step of starting my Pinterest strategy should be?
That is a really great question. Obviously, setting up your account, creating a business account so you can get all the latest tips, all the latest tools and features. But honestly, just getting started and create an idea pin, like just create and see what sticks, see how your audience engages with it. I think that's the first start, is just to create. Make sure you have an idea of what your presence wants to be on Pinterest. What is your area of expertise? Like, what is going to be your brand on Pinterest? And then just start creating content and see how it's engaged with your audience, and use trends, use analytics just to see how people are engaging with it, so you know what to create for the future.
That's a great tip. And I hope everyone, thank you so much for today. And I hope you all walked away with something tangible that you can take for your business and for your brand building. And we will be doing this is one of 5 weeks workshop, and it's all about Pinterest. So please join us next week as well. We are going in depth with everything. This is being recorded. I know a lot of you asked if it's being recorded, if we will be sharing the deck. So we will be sending the recording. I'll check with Lucy about the deck, but we can definitely see what we can share with all of you. And just want to thank Lucy. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have any closing statement that you can share with everyone that's here.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. And thank you everyone for tuning in and listening. Really appreciate it. I think my closing statement is just get pinning, like create idea pins. It's definitely our newest, most engaging format. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all the wonderful content you will be creating.
Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you all next week. Make sure to check us out. We have an amazing lineup and really go into depth about Pinterest and how to really add it into all of your holiday planning. So thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Lucy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.